Well, if you can hear an engine in the background, it's almost like I'm at the circuit. But no, that's just my neighbours. Well, people in my town that are revving their engines. Welcome back to the Track Titan Community Race Series. We're back for another round, another exciting round here in the US of A. Yeehaw. We're at Road America, and we are taking on the GT3s. Here we go. Excuse me whilst I sort out some graphics here. As I say, yeah, GT3, Road America. GT3 from 2016, the class of 2016, if you will. We've got a choice for the drivers of Audi or Porsche. But no Ferrari, no McLaren, as is quite popular in the GT3 world. Nonetheless, we are racing as we are. I'm all alone in the commentary box tonight. Spitslam has abandoned me for the circuit. He's taken behind the wheel, and he is... Excuse me. Sorry, I'm very distracted here because I am on my own and I'm without Spitslam to fill the gaps. You'll have to bear with me. Road America plays host to the most recent round of the series here in the USA, as I've said. 4 kilometers of circuit, 14 corners. Most interestingly on this circuit, in every official map that I can find, if you look in the bottom left of the map there, that's turn 1 into turn 2. No, that's actually into turn 3 because that slight kink is apparently turn 2. Not sure how they quantify those things, but they certainly just do it. Don't question me, map makers. I don't make the rules. Championship standings. I'll try and keep on track and not ramble with things. Ryan Skywalker breaking into the 1,000 points mark this time round. 1,028 points to his name. The first driver to get into the 4 figures. And look at the lead he's got over Max Newt 7. There's 2 Max Newts on this leaderboard. Not quite correct. Henry Comsey is actually in 3rd position. His fellow Finnish driver on 546 points, Max on 650. And then Dennis Bosman is in 4th position. He's a steadfast warrior there in 4th position. Alexander Gray in 5th, then Michelle Rodriguez in 6th. Though both those drivers separated by only 3 points. It's very tight between those 2 Swedes. And they've moved past Roger Sale, who's dropped down into 7th position after a lackluster timeout last time. Isaac Johansson also moving up, and you've got 4 Swedes in the top 10 here because also Victor Lundgren is into the top 10, whilst Gulikzek drops down into 9th position. He's been tumbling down the order. He's going to hope to get his championship back on track and take a win, as Joseph, his number 1 fan, would, of course, be hoping for. Let's head on to track then, and we'll see what the drivers can do at this American circuit. And here we are with Ryan Skywalker, who's in the pits. So we'll jump on board with another driver. Let's look at Michelle Rodriguez, who's been out in the practice before this qualifying session and getting his hot laps in. He hasn't had much time to get them in the week before, but he's managed to get some decent laps in the practice. In the week before, Michelle did not set a valid lap time by the looks of it, but the fastest lap time in the weekly hot lap challenge before this race was set by Ryan Skywalker. He set a time of 2:05.052. Ryan only uses 3 numbers, as it turns out. He was at the fastest lap time there, and that was in the Porsche, closely followed by Max Newt 7, who set the second fastest lap time of 2:05.111. So we should expect the drivers to start trickling down into those low 2:06s, high 2:05s, and if they can really get it right down, as Gulikzek did in the hot lap challenge as well, he got into the 2:05s. He was in 3rd position overall. The drivers can surely get into those 2:05s. You can expect to see drivers like Ryan Skywalker, like Max Newt 7, and like Gulikzek down in those low figures. But for now, Michelle Rodriguez is currently sat on provisional pole position with a 2:06.762. Expect those lap times to come down quite swiftly. Nonetheless, we continue in the qualifying. We have got 4 minutes 50 seconds left of it. Plenty of drivers circulating. Ryan Skywalker, our hot lap challenge winner, is now circulating here, doing a maneuver on Spitslam. Spitslam doing well to get out of the way of him there. And we'll try and hop on with someone for a hot lap. Let's stick with these two, actually. Stick with Ryan Skywalker and Spitslam as they are circulating around the circuit. They are at the back end of the circuit here, coming through the wavy section between the forests in towards the top end of the circuit here called Canada Corner. Spitslam doing a lunge on Ryan Skywalker. Spitslam, this is qualifying. Spitslam actually is racing, of course, because he's got himself a new wheel. The commentator has turned his attention to the racetrack more, bought a wheel, and he's going to try and be competitive tonight. Try and take on some of the best that Tracktown has to offer. We'll see if he is able to do that. So here's Ryan Skywalker coming up the Road America straight, the start-finish straight here at the circuit. And let's jump on board with him for one full lap of this circuit. I'll try and get the mirror off, but I'm not sure I'll be able to. We're going into the first corner here, braking deep and then turning it in. That's a nice medium apex here, and then running out very wide in that first corner, extending the track limits across that hatched area into what is called turn 2, and then into this, which is called turn 3. This is what I was on about earlier. Very confusing for me as a commentator. And nonetheless, we power down the straight once again. A slight kink here as we head underneath the Sagrento Bridge here, down the Moraine sweep, and then it's a long run here into this turn 5 corner. It's very similar to the corner that we saw last time out at Tor Poznan. Very similar to track, in fact, track layout to that one. But it's braking deep and then back up the hill into one of the most tricky corners you'll ever race on here, turn 6. It's uphill braking over a blind crest into this sharp left-hander. We've got a little bit of power down, then keeping the foot almost flat to the floor, lifting half off the throttle as you head around turn 7, down Hurry Downs, downhill braking here in towards turn 8. Some very challenging corners here at this circuit. Running out wide for this long right-hander here of the carousel. Ryan able to keep his foot flat to the floor for half the corner and then lifting off a little bit halfway around, getting on that curb, hitting the apex perfectly and running the car out wide, getting all of his lines exactly right as he comes in towards turn 11 bend. You can see on the left-hand side there the motorcycle chicane that's used for the motorcycle circus, but we're going to head through this wooded section that we saw him going around earlier. It's a right, then it's a left, and it's braking deep through Canada Corner, trying to keep all the speed you possibly can through this corner. It's a great speed to keep some momentum going through, as you've got to come into quite a slow speed section, so you don't want to slow too far down because you won't ever get the speed back up, but you've got to come through these bends here, through Bill Mitchell Bend into turn 14, the last corner on the circuit. Ryan Skywalker, a little bit of oversteer, has to lift off coming out of that final corner there, and that's going to bulk his lap time, but nonetheless he is going to cross the line just about now with a lap time of 2:05.515. So even with that little bit of oversteer, Ryan Skywalker has managed to get himself more than a second faster than Michelle Rodriguez in second position, and the reason for that is because Ryan Skywalker has equipped the softs. The drivers were made aware through the Hot Lap Challenge that they can choose a medium or a soft tyre. There's some qualifying strategy this time round. Ryan Skywalker seems to be the only one that's clocked onto it. Of course, from next season we'll be having open setups, so we're allowing the drivers to get used to it. Hugh Jass there puts in a second place lap time of 2:06.714. But still, the lap time's not coming down sufficiently. With only 1 minute left, these drivers that haven't figured out they can select the softs, well, they're going to be suffering, and Ryan Skywalker's surely going to run away with this one. I have to say I'm surprised Ryan hasn't told them. They are all in a server together, most of the drivers here. Nonetheless, we carry on with qualifying. Henry Comsey puts in a lap time of 2:06.569, and then Max Newt 7 pips him by the 2:06.389, still on the medium compound tyres. The driver's not quite realising, but they are setting their fastest lap times and getting the grid set. Alex Heller goes 11th, Seb Meister goes 16th. He improves his lap time, but not enough to go any higher than 16th so far. He's got 20 seconds left on the clock though, so he's got one more lap to give it another go. As we're still watching Ryan Skywalker, but we will turn our attention to some of the other drivers that are going to be coming across the line. We've got Isaac Lofstrom, not set a valid lap time yet. He's coming round this back end of the circuit here. We'll see if he can set a valid lap time. We'll see if he can disrupt the natural order of things. That is coming across the line now is, I think that's Just. Oh, it's Isaac Johansson. There we go. In 17th position right now, unable to improve his lap time. He's going to be sticking in 17th as we stand. That's a shame for Isaac, as he is usually somewhat of a front runner, but down in 17th position, he's going to be having to fight his way through the pack. Isaac Lostrom crosses the line, unable to improve on anyone's lap time. He finishes in 18th position, and then Ryan Skywalker pulls into the pit lane as we see the last few drivers coming around the corners. We've got Spitslam here, followed by Little Skittle and Michelle Rodriguez. Audi by Audi. Spitslam is going to cross the line now, and he's going to put in a lap time of... well, he doesn't improve his lap time at all. Little Skittle indeed also does not, and Michelle Rodriguez doesn't either, so all 3 drivers here disappointingly unable to improve their lap time. Roger Sale crosses the line. He's only going to start 14th position. Gulagzek crosses the line. He doesn't improve. He's going to be starting from 6th position or lower. We'll see as some of the last few drivers start to cross the line. Kiegolski coming down the start-finish straight. He's going to start in 7th position, improves his lap time significantly. 2 Africans in the top 10 here. Smells Like We is going to cross the line now. He's trying to improve his lap time, and he doesn't, starting in 15th position or lower. Keith Hall also doesn't improve his lap time. Dennis Bosman coming across the line. Is he able to improve his lap time? Not yet. Max Newt 7, Diogo Texera, and Just Veyers all crossing the line, all unable to improve their lap times. And it looks like the grid is set. We're not going to have any more upsets. And Ryan Skywalker, the only driver, by the looks of it, to figure out that he could start on the softs. Mad Bull also starting on the softs, but only staying on 2:07. So there we go. Qualifying over for the drivers now. It's time for the race. Now, I don't have Spitslam in the box to harass and tell me who's going to be in the lead by the first corner. So if anyone's watching this and wants to leave a comment of who's going to be in the lead by the first corner, please do participate. You can be my Spitslam for tonight, if you will. Ryan Skywalker is going to start on pole position. Max Newt 7 is going to start alongside, and then it's going to be Henry Comsey in 3rd position. Hugh Jass in 4th position. Michelle Rodriguez in 5th. Gulagzek in 6th. Kiegolski in 7th. Victor Lundgren in 8th. Lil Skittle in 9th. And Dennis Bosman in 10th. I've just seen your comment there, Kitch, about Steam ID. I haven't been able to get you in for this one, mate. I think I must have been streaming by the time you've sent it in. Once I've got it now, I'll be able to get you in for the next round. I'll be able to add you onto the server. Sorry about this round, mate. Thank you for tuning in, though. You'll be able to see the action unfold as it is. Next round, of course, is this time next week, GT4s at Suzuka in Japan. An exciting race to be had there. Lotus Evora GXs should be decent. Should be a little bit more stable than these cars. We'll see what the racing is like this time. Of course, we have whitelisted the server for the first time to reduce some of the typical chaos that we've come accustomed to seeing on these races. So limiting it with a whitelist, we'll see if it turns out okay. 53 seconds left for the drivers to get ready for the start of this race. And we can only think what will be going through their minds right now. A lot of them are in a voice channel on the Discord right now. I'm sure talking sweet nothings into each other's ears. And I'm sure they'll all be fighting for that lead by the first corner. We'll see who comes out on top. 30 seconds left. The revs just filtering through the pack. Everyone revving their engines just slightly. And you can see them all lining up. An array of colours for the drivers on the grid. Some drivers with special liveries. Some with liveries slightly more special than others. Like, I think it is Victor Lundgren who gets the most special livery of all. He gets the big boy livery, which means I have to root for him. So hopefully Victor does well. 6 red lights go on for the drivers here. 6 red lights for 20 drivers on the grid. They go out now. Ryan Skywalker does get that good start, but behind him, Henry Comsey has had a very good start indeed, and he's challenging for the lead already in towards the first corner they come. They're side by side, 3 wide into the first corner. Henry Comsey squeezed right to the inside. Ryan Skywalker's on the inside. Oh, and he's put Henry Comsey off. And Ryan Skywalker and Henry Comsey have come together before the first corner's even begun. And our championship leader and 3rd place are both out at the first corner, rejoining at the dead last. Although Yusveers coming through past Mad Bull now. I think them two came together at the start-finish line. But Max 7 now leads the way into the middle part of this first lap. Gulagzek close behind. Sorry, Michelle Rodriguez close behind, closely followed by Gulagzek, Hugh Jass, Lil Skill, Victor Lundgren, and Seb Meister, the top 7 as we head down the hill once again. Oh. Excuse the lack of voice chat there, ladies and gentlemen. Personal masters. Gulagzek drives down the inside, tries to take a position away from Michelle Rodriguez, ends up taking 2 positions away from the pair of them. He seems to be struggling with a little bit of internet here, drifting around the corners. Look at the back end going out on that car. but he's back up into third position after losing a position there. Now Hugh Jass is up in towards second position. Lil Skittle taking advantage of that, and he's moved up into fourth position. Michelle Rodriguez, the real loser there. Potentially, marshals will be looking at that. Seb Meister off in the background. He is in the grass, but he's managed to rejoin the circuit, and he's maintained that 7th position just ahead of Alex Heller, who's doing well in 8th position, and Kia Golski in 9th. The first lap coming to its close, though. Max Newt 7 coming round the final corner, and he's still leading the way by a long way. Look at that shot, you can see perfectly the massive gap between the drivers. Up at the front of the pack, Max Newt 7 2.5 seconds ahead of Hugh Jass in second position. And then you've got Guliczek, Lil Skittle, Michelle Rodriguez, Victor Lundgren, Seb Meister, and Alex Heller for your top 8 so far. And from second down to about 14th, they are separated by barely a second. This is amazing stuff from the drivers. Look at those gaps filtering through from second, especially down to 9th. Not even a second between each driver here. Guliczek looking to make a move through on Hugh Jass, but he's unable to make that one stick for now. Just sniffing up the inside. Lil Skittle, all over the exit curve there. Michelle Rodriguez is hunting, and he can smell an overtake coming as he tails him right down in towards a downhill bend here. It's a very tricky corner to get right. It's an even trickier corner to overtake. Michelle Rodriguez is going to try and get it done. He's going to dive down the inside of Lil Skittle, push him right to the raggedy edge, take 4th position away from Lil Skittle, but Lil Skittle's going to try and hold on around the outside, and indeed he does. Manages to hold on to that position, taking all the exit curb, and that's a fantastic defence from the Dutch driver there to hold off Michelle Rodriguez for a little while longer. We'll jump on board with Michelle Rodriguez now and see what kind of moves he can potentially put up against Lil Skittle, as he's using all the circuit here. Sniffing up the inside, but sticking to his lines once again. Lil Skittle doing all he can to hold on to this position away from Michelle Rodriguez. The driver's very much better behaved this time round than last time out, has to be said. Lil Skittle, with a little bit of oversteer there. I think he clipped the grass on the inside, and now Michelle Rodriguez has pounced. He's right up behind Lil Skittle. But he's ran wide! Michelle Rodriguez has ran wide. He got a little bit too close to Lil Skittle there. Managed to hit the wall, and Lil Skittle's going to run away with it. Meanwhile, Michelle Rodriguez, that one impact has battered his Audi so badly. Look at the damage that he's facing now. He's dropping down the order, 10th, now 11th potentially. He's going to try and limp his way back to pits and rejoin the race, but for the most part, he is out of the running. Lil Skittle, though, unfazed by it all, still holding on to that 4th position and running away with it. Victor Lundgren dropping back a little bit from Lil Skittle. Gaining a little bit on Lil Skittle as Michelle Rodriguez, the gap that was Michelle Rodriguez sized, has disappeared, and now Victor is going to try and sniff out a 4th position, whilst Guliczek and Hugh Jass are doing it out for 2nd position here. Guliczek looking to take advantage of all the strengths that the Audi has. It seems to be a decent split between the drivers on the grid, whether they chose the Porsche or the Audi. I think it really came down to their own driving style. But that Audi, it has to be said, looks to be a lot more stable through the corners, but it does like to get its back end out. Don't get me wrong, we'll jump on board with Guliczek now and see what kind of parts of the circuit he can gain on Hugh Jass here. Hugh running very wide there, coming out of turn 6. Up the hill once again in towards turn 7? 6. And through the right-hander that it is turn 7, Hugh Jass just sticking it on the tarmac. Guliczek tailing him close behind, but look in the mirrors, it's full of Little Skittle. Little Skittle is closing that gap all the while. There's only... you could throw a single duvet over these 3 drivers, couldn't you? It's incredible stuff. Round the long right-hander here off the carousel, and then powering out the corner. Guliczek, look at him, gaining a little bit on Hugh Jass, but is Hugh Jass going to get the better exit out of the corner? Looks like he potentially is, and he's pulling away a little bit as they come in towards the kink. But now Guliczek has the slipstream, and he almost does the same thing as Michelle Rodriguez. He runs a little bit too wide. That slipstream is so powerful coming through the kink. It unsettles the car, and you just can't get the grip down. It is dropped back from Hugh Jass, and now here comes Lil Skittle behind Guliczek, looking to make a move. Guliczek runs wide into the gravel. Lil Skittle moves through on Guliczek, and Guliczek is down into 4th position, potentially 5th. As Victor Lundgren nearly collides with the pair of them. Guliczek and Lil Skittle going side by side. Guliczek manages to regain that 3rd position away from Lil Skittle, and Victor Lundgren's now part of the party, and it's a 3-way battle here for 3rd position as Victor Lundgren chases up the pair of them. Lil Skittle trying to make the move up the hill. He's going to go side by side with Guliczek. Guliczek's going to hold that inside line and try and hold it in towards the first corner, but it might be in vain because Lil Skittle has the overspeed and he's well alongside Guliczek now as they come across the start-finish straight. He's already just about inherited their position from Guliczek, but Guliczek does have that inside line, but Lil Skittle's going to sweep around the outside. Fantastic racing from the Dutch driver once again, and Victor Lundgren now comes to try and get a piece of the pie as he looks at the inside of Guliczek. And who's that arriving on the scene? It's Seb Meister, just behind the three of them. All this battling has dropped them back into the clutches of 6th place, and now one mistake can potentially drop these drivers down 4 positions or even more as they're powering down the hill once again through the moraine sweep underneath the bridge. Victor Lundgren looking for a move on Guliczek here. Let's jump on board with him. Trying to find a way through. Oh, Lil Skittle's broken very early there. Guliczek has had a robust manoeuvre on him. And Victor Lundgren's moved through, but Seb Meister's come through as well. Seb Meister up in towards 3rd position. Amazing stuff from the Swedish drivers here. Victor Lundgren's outbroken himself in towards turn 6. And Seb Meister, from nowhere, is in 3rd position and he's running away with it. Behind him, Victor Lundgren inherited 2 positions after that mistake from Lil Skittle and Guliczek, and Guliczek is in 9th position. He's really dropped down the order. He must have gone into the gravel after that incident with Lil Skittle. He's in 9th position behind Keith Holt and the Yeehaw now, who've also arrived on the scene, and so you've got about 6 drivers now still battling it out for 3rd, 4th position when we're 7 minutes into this race. Ryan Skywalker on the recovery drive. He had an incident in the first corner. He's managed to get himself past Alex Heller. He's into the top 10 now. He's going to try and take on as many points as he can and solidify that championship lead up at the head of the field. He's going to try and win this championship by round 10 or something. Lil Skittle very close behind Victor Lundgren. Side by side in towards the corner. Victor Lundgren running very wide here. Lil Skittle taking the position away from him, and they're bumping left and right. Victor Lundgren in the Porsche, Lil Skittle in the Audi. Victor Lundgren's up alongside Lil Skittle. Oh, and they span each other around. Victor Lundgren just clipped the back end of Lil Skittle. Lil Skittle managed to hold on to it, but Victor Lundgren definitely came off worse for wear and went around, and now Kiegolski looks to make the move on Lil Skittle as he is battling through the pack. He started further down the order and now is up into 5th position. Great racing from the Kenyan driver here as they're coming across the start-finish line over the crest. And there's 5 cars now battling down the start-finish straight. It's awesome to see the driving, the battle and maintaining throughout this entire race. Kiegolski looking to make a move on Lil Skittle, running very wide on the exit of the first corner there, Lil Skittle, but keeps it on the circuit and keeps himself in 4th position for now. Keith Holt, the only Porsche in this pack of 5 as they come out of the 3rd corner and over the crest once again. Potentially might throw a little bit of variance into this battle, the Porsche, as it has its strengths in certain parts of the track that the Audi potentially doesn't. But for now, Keith Holt holding on to that 7th position, breaking a lot deeper than Diogo Teixeira there on Spitslaminator. Stays off the circuit, doesn't get involved in the battles. Well done, Spitslam. Still getting used to that new wheel, and he rejoins the race down in 20th position. Diogo Teixeira looking to find a way past Kiegolski. What on earth's happened to Guliczek? He rejoins the circuit. I think he's got internet problems potentially, but the car still on the circuit on screen as he comes around turn number 8 round the court carousel here. He's in 8th position as he dropped down the pack after a incident with Lil Skittle just a few laps ago, and he's looking to try and find a way past Keith Holt. But meanwhile, up ahead, Diogo Teixeira also looking to find a way past Kiegolski. And this isn't the only battle on track. It should be clear. Dennis Bosman, usually a front runner, is sat behind Alex Heller, and Yusuf has managed to get himself past Alex Heller as well. Alex dropping like a stack of bricks. He's dropped down behind Ryan Skywalker, and Spitslam is part of the battle as well. He might be a lap down, but he's certainly getting involved. Dennis Bosman looking for a way past Alex Heller. Alex Heller looking for a way past Spitslam. Alex Heller looks to the inside, but is unable to make the manoeuvre stick this time, and Dennis Bosman is tailing the 3 of them up this hill, trying to get all the slipstream and all the speed he possibly can. Juiced is running away with this one in 11th position, trying to catch up to that battle up ahead between Ryan Skywalker and Victor Lundgren. And we'll quickly take a look at that one, because Ryan Skywalker on his recovery drive, you can see his battered and bruised Porsche. He got tangled in the first corner. He's not going to want to do that this time round, and he sits behind Victor Lundgren for a little while longer. But the thing is with Ryan Skywalker is that he's a very good driver, but down in 10th position, No one ahead of him right now is an easy driver to pass. Everyone ahead of him right now is a decent midfield or front runner in this championship. And whilst Ryan might run away with this championship, he's not Jesus. One man who thinks he's Jesus is Keith Holt. He's parted the seas and he's moved past Diogo Teixeira up into 6th position. And I think that Porsche is much faster in that braking into that downhill section than the Audi, because he was gaining speed in that area before. But Diogo Teixeira fights back up the hill. Keep running Keith Holt very wide, and now Gulagzek comes to try and take away a position from Diogo Teixeira. Keith Holt secured that position, and the battle between Gulagzek and Diogo Teixeira begins, unless Diogo can make a serious lunge on Keith Holt, or Gulagzek can make a serious lunge on Diogo. Indeed, he doesn't this time round, sticks behind him for now, coming round the turn 8 corner in towards Carousel once again. Iconic part of this Road America circuit. Not particularly a pace to make an overtake though, as we look behind as well. Ryan Skywalker trying to find a way past Victor Lundgren. Nothing doing quite yet. Juiced, dropping down the order. Oh, he's in the wall! Juiced Veyers is in the wall. Spitzlam gets a slap of oversteer. In sympathy, smells like Wayne moves past Spitzlam and is potentially going to move past Juiced Veyers. Oh no, he's stuck behind Spitzlam for now actually, as he gets used to that wheel, Spitzlam of course. Gulagzek, though, still battling away with Diogo Teixeira, and behind him you can see Ryan Skywalker looking to make the move on Victor Lundgren, but it doesn't happen this time round. Come on, Victor, put that big boy livery to use. Make your car as big as possible. You can defend like a lion. Gulagzek, though, ahead of them, still looking to make that move on Diogo Teixeira, and there's 2 3-car battles. The 3-car battle ahead is headed by Lil Skittle. Sorry, headed by Seb Meister. Hayes chased down by Lil Skittle and Kia Golski, and then behind them, Keith Holt chased down by Gulagzek and Diogo Teixeira, and here comes Gulagzek, side by side with Diogo Teixeira, down the start, finish straight. He's got the inside line. He's surely going to have the better braking line for this first corner. Diogo Teixeira's going to try and hang it around the outside, leaves the room for Gulagzek. Gulagzek still holding onto that inside line. They're still side by side coming out of the first corner into the second, and then braking into the third. Diogo still on that outside line. Gulagzek is going to sweep up the inside in the Ferrari liveried Audi, which makes no sense to me. And they're still side by side as they're coming over the crest once again. It looks like Diogo Teixeira's got the better exit off the corner, and Gulagzek is going to have to try once again to make the manoeuvre. And he's alongside the rear quarter of Diogo Teixeira, but Diogo Teixeira this time has the inside line. But it's been proven that the outside line potentially is the better way to go around this corner. If you can hold it on, sweep around the outside, as Gulagzek has just done. Outbroke Diogo Teixeira there, held onto that 7th position, and now Diogo Teixeira is in the clutches of Victor Lundgren, who's looking up the inside of him and has moved through cleanly on him. Diogo Teixeira here, dropping like a sack of bricks, but he's going to collide a little bit with Victor Lundgren there, sets them both on. Victor Lundgren, rejoins the circuit with a serious amount of oversteer. Ryan Skywalker avoids the pair of them, and these two battling out, door bashing as they are. Victor Lundgren holding on to 9th position, but not for long. He goes over the bumps on the exit of turn 8 there and rejoins the circuit, and he's going to sit there and patiently wait for the cars to pass. Very well done there, Victor, to not crash into another vehicle. And so the only battle left now is Ryan Skywalker chasing down everyone. There's a little battle further back between Roger Sale and Smalls Like We, and there's also Victor Lundgren heading up that battle between them two. But then ahead, it is this big battle for the podium. The final step on the podium is up for grabs. The timer is just about to tick down to 0. We'll see when Max Newt 7 is on track. Max Newt 7 has just crossed the line, so we are going to get 2 more laps, rather than this being the final lap, as Max could have just slowed down a little bit, but Max, ever the showman. Ever the showman. Still, Lil Skull in 4th position, hunting down Seb Meister for that final step on the podium. He got a podium last time out, did Lil Skittle. He's got the taste for it. He knows what it's like to stand on the podium. And he wants it again. He's breaking deep into the first corner. He almost collides with Seb Meister. He's going to run very, very wide on the exit of the first corner. You've got 2 more laps, Lil Skittle. Don't get desperate yet. But the thing is, he's going to look in his mirror, and all he's going to see is Kia Golski. And that is going to be upsetting him deeply. Looking behind from Lil Skittle now at Kia Golski. And then ahead towards Seb Meister. Lil Skittle unable to make anything happen. Kia Golski nearly outbraking himself there. He had to take to the exit curb to avoid going into Lil Skittle, and that's dropped him back a couple tenths from Lil Skittle. We'll see if he gets held up by Seb Meister though, as Seb Meister is slowing at the top of the hill, unable to get the grip down, and Lil Skittle's really closed up to the back of him now. We'll look back from Sebmeister here at Lil Skittle and Kiagolski chasing him as he come round the carousel section. And Lil Skittle is just probing, just looking for a way past these two. Just this driver in third position. And it's not happening this time round as they're coming round into the King. Lil Skittle avoids making the same mistake that Michelle Rodriguez did. He holds the car on black stuff, which is all you need to do to overtake clearly. Sebmeister holding on to this position in towards Canada corner. They're still line astern though, and Lil Skittle is just learning from Sebmeister right now. He's just looking to see where he can make the move. Behind these though, Ryan Skywalker has managed to get himself past Gulagzek into the Canada corner, and now he's hunting down Keith Holt for 6th position. I said it wasn't be easy for Ryan Skywalker to fight through these drivers, but it's proven to be quite easy for him indeed, as he's currently in 7th position. Still a far cry from potentially where he wants to be. That being said, his lead at the top of this championship will remain unchallenged as Max 7, even though Max 7 leads this race. Gulagzek fighting back at Ryan Skywalker though. They're going side by side. Lil Skittles managed to move through on Sebmeister into the first corner by the looks of it. Indeed, Sebmeister has gone round before the first corner. I'm not sure if there was any contact involved there, but he is round and backwards on the start finish straight and dropping down the order. Keith Holt holding on to the position ahead of Ryan Skywalker. Gulagzek was unable to make the manoeuvre, potentially yellow flags in towards the first turn, as Ryan Skywalker now tails Keith Holt over the crest once more. He's going to look to make the move in towards this downhill braking section, but as we've seen from Keith, he's able to brake very late into this downhill braking section in that Porsche, and no one seems to have had an answer to him quite yet, and Ryan doesn't either. He almost outbrakes himself going into the corner there, taking a slightly different line to Keith Holt. Keith Holt's going to get the power down, going up the hill now in towards turn 6. This blind left-hander, Keith with a little bit of back end there, stepping out, and that's dropped him half a tenth maybe to Ryan Skywalker, who's now well and truly up underneath him on his exhaust. But look in the mirrors, here comes Gulagzek looking for a way past Ryan Skywalker. They're almost side by side as they're heading down this short straight in before the carousel. Gulagzek unable to find a way through this time round. Ryan Skywalker still holds on to that 6th position for a little while longer. Up at the head of the pack, Max 7 is coming round the final complex of corner. He's going to finish this race very soon. 13 seconds clear of anyone else. What a dominant display this has been from Max, back on winning terms as he was last time round. But we'll keep our eyes for now on this three-way battle for 5th position. Keith Holt leading them, Ryan Skywalker close behind, Gulagzek in 7th position. No one able to make a move right now. Coming through the King, Max 7 crosses the line. He wins the first race of the night in a dominant fashion. 13.7 seconds ahead of Hugh Jass. Incredible stuff from Max 7. Hugh Jass finishes a very, very respectable 2nd position. I think that is a first podium of the season for Hugh, so it's great to see him up there on the 2nd step of the podium. And then here comes this battle for 3rd, and it looks like the winner of this one is going to be Lil Skittle in 3rd position. He's going to hold off Kiagolski to the line. Keith Holt comes round in 5th position, and he holds off Ryan Skywalker to the line as well. Ryan Skywalker finishing fashionable ways in 6th position. He fought his way back right from the back of the grid after an incident in the first corner, and then it's Gulagzek in 7th position. Dennis Bosman finishes in 8th. Diogo Texeira finishes in 9th. Madbull finishes in 10th. And look how close the grid was. I've barely finished reading off the top 10, and most of the drivers have already finished. Juice Fayers manages to recover to 11th position for now. He struggled a little bit after going off as on his own accord, and he managed to recover to 11th. Victor Lundgren, 12th position. That's not going to do his championship any good. He just about got into the top 10 this week round. We'll see if he's able to retain that this week. Roger Sale in 13th position. Likewise for him, not the position he would have wanted to finish to hold on to that 8th position in the championship. Smells Like We in 14th. Alex Heller in 15th. Henry Comsey finishing in 16th now. Michelle Rodriguez close behind in 17th. Sebmeister's already finished, and Spitzlam, your last driver on the grid, finishes in 19th position as he tries to learn how to race. That's one race done. Thank you to everyone that's been tuning in tonight. And let's get ready for the 2nd race of the night. Look at the little man. Little flag man up at the top right of your screen there. Studious. He's an unwavering rock in this motorsporting world. Michelle Rodriguez is going to start on pole position for this race. by the looks of it, with Henry Comsey alongside him. Victor Lundgren, according to my time tower, starting second, but he definitely is not. Excuse me. Michelle Rodriguez is going to start on pole position. Henry Comsey is going to be alongside him. Alex Heller is going to be in third position. Then it's going to be Roger Sale. Smells Like We is going to start in fifth position with Victor Lundgren in sixth. And then it's Yus Veyers in seventh position. Mad Bull in eighth. Diogo Teixeira in ninth. Dennis Bosman in 10th. And notably, 12th position, Ryan Skywalker. 17th position, Max Newt 7. And stone dead last, 19th position. Starting from the back, it's going to be Spitzlam, of course. Isaac Lofstrom looks to be starting from the pit lane. And we lost Alexander Gray and Isaac Johansson, who did not finish the last race. So, down to 19 drivers here at Road America. Spitzlam, who's going to be in the lead by the first corner? Ah, he's abandoned me. Oh dear me, the things I do when I'm on a low. Drivers in the chat begging for a clean turn one. Hopefully, Ryan Skywalker is hoping for a clean turn one, certainly after that dreadful start to the first race. But we'll see how it goes. 20 seconds left for the drivers on the grid. Michelle Rodriguez feathering the throttle on the start-finish line. Two Audis side by side, and then behind them Roger Sale in that Porsche with Alex Heller also in the Porsche by the looks of it. So we'll see who gets the better start between the Audi and the Porsche. 6 red lights go on. The 6 red lights go out. Now it's lights out and away we go, and it looks like Michelle Rodriguez has had the best start of them all. Oh no, indeed he hasn't. I'm completely wrong. Henry Comsey has flown past him in towards the first corner. Henry Comsey leading the way, close behind Michelle Rodriguez, and Alex Heller is sniffing up the inside of the pair of them for the first place, but he's not going to get it this time around. He's going to have to hold on to third place as Roger Sale runs wide and loses the position. Juice Veyers has moved through. There's a driver seemingly in the wall, but it could be ping problems as Roger Sale is battling with Juiced for that fourth position. Unable to make it stick this time around as Roger Sale comes together with Smells Like We. Smells Like We goes across the circuit. And just avoids a collision with Diogo Teixeira. Spitzlam is off the circuit as well. Hugh Jass filters through at the back of the pack. Something must have happened to him in the first corner. But Henry Comsey leads this race in first position from Michelle Rodriguez in second. Alex Heller in third. Juice Veyers in fourth. Ryan Skywalker, how is he in fifth? Incredible stuff from the South African driver here. He's fought his way up from 12th position to 5th in 4 corners, and he's fighting his way through even faster now. Juiced looking for a way past Alex Heller this time around. He's going to try and take third position away from him, but it doesn't happen. Gulikzek is just behind them, and behind him Seb Meister and Dennis Bosman are going at it side by side. Dennis Bosman up the inside of Seb Meister. That's an easy manoeuvre for Dennis Bosman. That's how you get done. But Seb Meister's going to fight back up the inside of the carousel, and then he gets position back from Dennis Bosman into 8th position for now, whilst Dennis Bosman and Diogo Teixeira battle it out for, well, indeed for 8th actually. It's a timing error on screen. Dennis Bosman in 8th position, Diogo Teixeira in 9th, Seb Meister in 7th. 3 drivers very close together, and then behind them Lil Skittle and Max Newt 7 are going at it. Side by side they are. Lil Skittle on the podium last time out. He's going to try and get a podium this time around as well, as Keith Holt gets a slap of oversteer. Seb Meister goes side by side with Diogo Teixeira. Gulikzek moves through on Juice Veyers for 5th position. Keith Holt is through past Diogo Teixeira because Diogo Teixeira has gone off. He's dropping down like a ton of bricks here. He gets past by Giagolski. He's going to rejoin in 14th position. But at the end of the first lap, it's Henry Comsey from Michelle Rodriguez, from Alex Heller, Ryan Skywalker in 4th position, and then Gulikzek in 5th. It feels like for the drivers at the front of the pack, the man that was on the charge last time round might be on the charge this time round. They're going to be looking in the mirrors and they're going to see Ryan Skywalker and they're going to panic. Oh, and Henry Comsey does panic. He gets all over the curb on the inside of turn 3. He gets a big amount of oversteer. He goes round. He's on the grass. He's going to rejoin slowly, and he's going to rejoin in 13th, maybe 14th position. And that's terrible for Henry Comsey. He was leading this race, but it's all gone in just a blink of an eye with a little bit of oversteer off a curb. And now Michelle Rodriguez leads this race by 2 seconds from Alex Heller. Behind Alex comes Ryan Skywalker. chasing down Alex Heller, looking for a way past him. He's going to be analysing his lines and looking for the best place to overtake, like his Valtteri Bottas on Nicholas Latifi. Down the hill, in towards turn 8. Alex Heller braking a little bit earlier than Ryan Skywalker there. Ryan Skywalker keeping his braking a little bit more even, maintaining that minimum speed, and not relying on the acceleration of the car quite so much as Alex Heller is. Going around the carousel. Alex Heller still in second position. Ryan Skywalker in third, and then behind him, Gulacek and Juice Veyers and Dennis Bosman are battling out here. Dennis looking for a way past Juice. It's two Dutchmen going at it. Going through the wiggly section here, between the forest trees. Dennis Bosman behind Juice Veyers. He's got all the slipstream in the world, but he's not got the position to pass quite yet. Coming around kind of the corner there. Juice goes very, very wide. Loses about a tenth to Dennis, and Dennis is right up behind him. Gulacek not in the lead of this race quite yet. He is down in fourth position as the timing tower does update itself, and here comes Ryan Skywalker on Alex Heller. He's side by side and well ahead before the first corners even begun, but Alex Heller comes fighting back, gets in the slipstream of Ryan Skywalker, and is going to try and get a little bit of speed back on the South African driver and make a move. So Ryan Skywalker goes defensive to try and defend that second position in towards the first corner, and he does so successfully, powering out of the corner, using all the exit curb, well, exit markings, if you will. And Gulacek also wants a piece of the pie. He's going to go up the inside of Alex Heller. Almost collides with the French driver there, but thinks better and backs out of the overtake before it gets too late, and Alex Heller still holds onto that third position for a little while longer. Behind, Dennis Bosman and Juice Veyers are going side by side once again. Dennis looking to make the move on Juiced. He's going to go down the hill in towards turn 5. Dennis Bosman on the inside, Juice Veyers on the outside. Juice is going to try and hold on to that by keeping the power on around the outside, but it's not going to work, and Dennis Bosman does move throwing him before they even reach turn 6. And now Max Newt 7 has joined the party, and behind them there's a 4-car battle all the way down to 10th position, which is great to see. But we'll keep an eye on this battle here for 5th position as Max Newt 7 gets himself past Juice Veyers in towards the corner, but drops back because he's got that outside line and has to brake extra for Dennis Bosman ahead. Oh, but he powers on and holds on to that 6th place position fantastically. Max Newt 7 with a picture perfect overtake in towards the carousel. Juiced had absolutely no answer to that whatsoever, and as a result he's dropped back well from even Dennis Bosman. He's now more than a second adrift of the driver he was battling just a few corners ago, thanks to that fantastic Max Newt 7 overtake, and that's not going to help going off at the exit of the corner there, Juiced. So Max Newt 7 up into 6th position. Alex Heller keeping Ryan Skywalker honest, but Gulacek is close behind, looking to take that podium position away from him. Max Newt 7 still hunting down Dennis Bosman, and then further behind there is this 4-car battle for 10th. Led by Lil Skill, closely followed by Victor Lundgren. There's a little bit of a gap back to Diogo Teixeira and Henry Comsey, who are battling it out of 11th position. But now, Sebmeister starts his attack for Juice Veyers' 7th position. We'll see if he can catch up to him for now. Max Newt 7 is closing on Dennis Bosman a little bit, lap by lap, gaining on him steadily. The overtake potentially on later in this lap as the gap is now down underneath 1 second. Coming down towards half a second as they're coming down the hill once again. Max Newt 7 looking for any way past Dennis Bosman to try and get all the points possibly can. Close that gap up at the head of the field, or at least put some daylight between himself and Henry Comsey, who's having another rough day at the races. He was leading this race, Henry Comsey, but then got on the curb and dropped down a position, dropped down many positions even, and he's now battling with Diogo Teixeira for 11th position. Gulacek is in 4th position right now. He's underneath a second. He's got the gap between himself and Alex Heller underneath a second, excuse me. And he's looking for any possible way past the French driver here as they come to the top end of the circuit here. And it has to be said, With 7 minutes and 1 lap remaining, I said at the start of this race that the drivers at the front would be looking in the mirror and dreading seeing Ryan Skywalker, but Michelle Rodriguez, full credit to him, and I really hope I don't commentators curse him genuinely here. He's had a fantastic race. He's leading this race by 3 seconds. Hopefully he can hold on to that lead and keep a cool head, even with the encroaching Ryan Skywalker behind. He's only got 6.5 minutes and 1 more lap to go. Gulikzek, the battle for 3rd position, still rages on, and behind him, the battle for 5th and 6th also raging on. Alex Heller with a little bit more speed down the start-finish straight, but Gulikzek tucked up underneath his slipstream, gets a couple extra miles an hour down the start-finish straight in towards turn 1. Looking for a way past, he's going to sniff to the inside, but he doesn't. Takes a slightly different line to Alex Heller through the corner with a little bit more focus on the exit, and it might potentially pay off to him as he's coming alongside the rear quarter of Alex Heller in towards turn 3. No overtakes here as Dennis Bosman also goes defensive on Max Duke 7. But the overtake evades him for 1 more corner, and it's 2x2, this fantastic battle here for 3rd and for 5th. As these two, Gulikzek and Alex Heller, go side by side. Gulikzek is going to take that inside line away from Alex Heller. He's going to try and brake a little bit deeper than Alex in towards this corner, but Alex is taking advantage of the Porsche's slightly better braking performance. Brakes a little bit deeper, holds onto that position for another corner. Well, but here comes Gulikzek up the inside of Alex Heller. Oh, and he taps his rear quarter. Oh, and he slows down to allow Alex Heller to rejoin, but that ends up making Dennis Bosman crash into him. And Max Duke 7 moves through on Dennis Bosman. And Dennis, with an incident that was nothing to do with himself, drops down into 6th position. He's going to retake 5th position away from Seb Meister. Oh, I spoke too soon. He's not, and now it's a 3-car battle for 5th position. But you have to say that's super unfortunate for Dennis Bosman. Not anything he could have controlled there. Just a driver slowing down to allow another driver back onto the circuit, but potentially not the best place to slow down the racing line. Kiegolski into the pits. His race is over for now. Dennis Bosman still trying to hunt down more positions to get himself back up through the pack. He needs a decent result here to hold on to this 4th position because Michelle Rodriguez is having a great day in this race. Almost 4 seconds clear from Ryan Skywalker, putting in the fastest lap of this race of anyone, a 2:06.166. Michelle Rodriguez setting the timing towers ablaze and doing it in great fashion up at the head of the pack. Dennis Bosman still looking for a way past Lil Skittle. And he's got to try and line up an overtake in the next lap potentially as he tails him down the start-finish straight. The drivers all filtering through. Lil Skittle goes very wide on the exit of the first corner, rejoins, loses about a 10th to Dennis Bosman there. And now the attack really begins for Dennis Bosman. He's going to try and take this 6th position away from Lil Skittle with both hands as they're coming over the crest. Dennis Bosman on board now, looking for a way past Lil Skittle, using all the slipstream he possibly can to gain any extra advantage he possibly can on the Dutch driver ahead of him. It's 2 Dutchies. As Spitzlam said last week, you got to pass the Dutchie to the left-hand side. Well, Dennis Bosman could make it work on either side. Lil Skittle with a little bit of oversteer there, but Dennis Bosman completely missing the apex. Both drivers dropping a 10th or so to Henry Comsey behind, making this 4-car battle even more exciting. Seb Meister just about holding on up at the front of this battle in 5th position as they're coming in towards the carousel underneath the Speedville sign. Lil Skittle sticking to his lines, not allowing the mirror full of Dennis Bosman to bother him for now. Both drivers clipping that apex very well and running it wide, taking advantage of all the circuit that they possibly can to take any time they can away from the other driver. Oh, and Dennis Bosman does the same mistake that we've seen time and time again tonight. He's in the slipstream of Lil Skittle, and he's just allowed his car to run a little bit wide at the kink, and it's happened about 3 or 4 times today. He's got into the wall. He's got a little bit of damage now, surely, and Henry Comsey moves through on the Dutch driver into 7th position, and his battle for 5th is surely over. I don't think Dennis is going to be able to fight through the damage and fight his way back up past Henry Comsey now. Such an easy mistake to make when you're chasing another driver up underneath the slipstream. going wide at the kink, and that's such a shame for Dennis Bosman there. But his race does continue. He's in 8th position. Henry Cumsey now inheriting 7th position. Further back, there is another battle going on between Keith Holt, Alex Heller. These two drivers now side by side. Keith Holt pulling out to the outside line. He's going to take 11th position away from Alex Heller before the first corner, but Alex Heller's going to have that inside line. He's going to try and hold that inside line through the corner, but Keith Holt is going to sweep through past Alex Heller, and he made it look easy, the Austrian driver there. Past Alex Heller in towards turn 3. He's in 11th position. He's going to be taking home a few more points to put in the piggy bank, unless Alex Heller can say anything about it in the next couple of laps. 1 minute remaining for the drivers on the grid, down on the circuit. Michelle Rodriguez about halfway through the lap. It'll remain to be seen whether we get 2 more laps or 1 more lap. However, in the mind of Michelle Rodriguez, you've got to potentially be thinking, do I slow down for 1/10 to get myself 1 lap instead of 2? Or is that too risky? Do I risk falling into the clutches of Ryan Skywalker and risking it all? It looks like we're going to get 2 more laps, as we do have 35 seconds remaining, and Michelle Rodriguez starts to enter into the final section of the circuit. But we'll keep our eyes on our leading driver for now, and we'll go back to that battle there for 6th position soon. Michelle Rodriguez coming out of the final corner. He's going to come up this hill, climb the hill. It looks like such an epic hill here at Road America, doesn't it? Off that camera angle, 10 seconds left. Yes, we're going to have 2 more laps for the drivers. So 2 more laps for Michelle Rodriguez to hold on, and 2 more laps for Lil Skittle to find a way past Seb Meister for 5th position. Lil Skittle is having a great mid-season here in these GT and touring cars, and he's battling away for 5th position. Using all the exit curb there, powering up the straight, up underneath Seb Meister's exhaust fumes. Look at the overspeed that he's got coming down the start-finish straight. He's gaining, he's gaining, he's gaining. He's well alongside, and these two drivers are side by side down the start-finish straight. Who's going to be the bigger man into the first corner? Lil Skittle or Seb Meister? Who's going to brake later? Lil Skittle's got the lead. He's going to brake deep. He's going to try and hold onto that position. Seb Meister going to try and hold onto the traction on the outside, but it's not going to happen this time round. He's going to drop into 6th position. We'll see if he's got an answer for Lil Skittle into the next corner. He doesn't. And now Lil Skittle is going to try and run away with this and clear away from Henry Cumsey, who's close behind and closely gaining on the pair of them. Seb Meister, though, not allowing Lil Skittle to run away with this one. The gap's still underneath a second. Three drivers here duking it out for 5th position. Elsewhere in the grid, the drivers separated by 1.5 to 4 seconds. All the racing seems to have settled down a little bit as we are on the penultimate lap of this race. The time indeed now ticked down to 0, as we saw it do at the start of this lap. So fully confirmed, penultimate lap. Kiegolski won't finish this race. He's going to stick into the pits for the end of this race and finish in 19th position. Spitzlam is actually ahead of another driver on track somehow. Roger Sale is in 18th position. I can only assume Roger must have had some serious problems that forced him into the pits for a while, because he's behind Spitzlam, which usually means something's gone wrong. Henry Cumsey closing on Seb Meister. Seb Meister, though, not letting it run away from him. He's there to pick up the pieces if Lil Skittle makes a mistake, but it doesn't look like he's going to threaten Lil Skittle for that 5th position in towards his final lap. The final lap has begun, of course. Michelle Rodriguez on his parade lap, if you will. 4.8 seconds clear of Ryan Skywalker. Ryan Skywalker has had absolutely no answer for Michelle Rodriguez. Michelle has just been pumping in fast lap after fast lap after fast lap. He gained 7.5 tenths on Ryan Skywalker in that last lap alone. Amazing driving from Michelle Rodriguez. And I have to say, it's what you'd expect, considering the amount of Assetto Corsa Competizione that particular driver has been practicing in. This should be his speciality, and indeed he's going to prove that true. leading this race by a long way, although he is coming to lap Spitzlam shortly. We'll see if that causes anything. Hugh Jass has passed Keith Holt. That's because Keith Holt is backwards. He's made the same mistake that Henry Comsey did. He's gone round at turn 3. And he's going to rejoin the race in 13th position. And that's such a shame because he managed to get himself past a few drivers to take home some more points. But he's thrown it all away. Not so much all the way. He's in 13th position. We'll cut back to this decent battle here for 5th position. As it's closing in ever more each lap. The final lap though. Desperation will start to set in for these drivers as they see the final lap board. They saw the final lap board and they're going to think, well, I need to get past this driver or else I'm not going to get past them at all. I need to get the maximum amount of points I can, and this is certainly true for Henry Comsey, who's going to be slipping further and further away from that 2nd position spot as Max 7 won a race and looks set to be taking home a 3rd position today. Henry Comsey, meanwhile, in 7th position. I totally missed it because he's so far ahead. Michel Rodriguez finishes the 2nd race in 1st position. Lovely stuff from the Swedish driver here. Ryan Skywalker finishes in 2nd. A great race from Ryan, but he was not able to answer Michel Rodriguez's call for the lead. Max 7 finishes in 3rd. 2 podiums for the Finnish driver today. A great result and back to form for Max. Back to what we expect to see from him after a rough couple of weeks. Juice Veyers has managed to get himself into 4th position, but further back, Diogo Teixeira is... I thought he'd move past Gulagzek, but he hasn't. He's finished behind him. So your top 10 was Michel Rodriguez, Ryan Skywalker, Max 7, Juice Veyers, Lil Skittle in 5th position. 2 great successes for him tonight as well. Seb Meister holds on to 6th position from Henry Comsey in 7th. Dennis Bosman finishes in 8th. Just keeping the points ticking, Dennis. Dennis is just keeping the points ticking. He's just not going crazy, but he's sticking in 4th position, and that's why I always call him some kind of mid-table stalwart, because he just gets the points where he needs to. Gulagzek finishes in 9th position. More great points for the Czech driver there. He's going to surely stick in the top 10 with this great performance, especially when some of his rivals have not had the best day at the races. Hugh Jass in 10th position. Diogo Teixeira finishes in 11th. Alex Heller in 13th. Smells like we. Sorry, it's Alex Heller in 12th. Smells like we in 13th. Keith Holt finishes in 14th position after that little incident. Went off turn 3, dropped him down a few places. And then it's Mad Bull, Victor Lundgren. And the normal order of things is restored as Roger Sale finishes ahead of Spitzlam. And indeed, Spitzlam technically finishes ahead of Kiergolski. Well, that's the 2 races over. Let's chat to some of our winners. First race won by Max 7. Let's grab him in here for a chat. Let's see if I can get him in. Max, I hope you are ready for a race winner interview.
Yes.
A race win and a podium tonight. This is back to form for you. It's great to see you back in your winning ways. Do you like the GT cars?
Yeah, I like them. They are very, very good to drive.
It's yeah, like I said, great to see you back up at the head of the pack, and you took home a race win in the first one. That was 13 seconds clear. When you saw Ryan get taken out in the first corner, were you laughing or or upset?
I really was expecting to race with Ryan all race, so that was not really nice. So I had a really lonely race after that.
You did have a very lonely race. You were kind of on your own for most of the race, but you did everything you needed to and kept it on track. And then in the second race, you battled through and took 3rd, and that wasn't so easy, but also fairly quiet for you. You didn't really have too many. You kind of got into 3rd, and then it was quite quiet from there, right?
Yeah, I really hadn't really battled with anyone there, but it was nice to get the podium in the second race.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to see you back up with a double podium once again, and you're going to be moving clear of Henry Comsey in second position. Looks like Ryan is fairly untouchable now, but you're going to want to take home second position this season again?
Yeah, I try my best.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us again, Max, and we will catch you hopefully next time out if you win again.
Yep. See ya.
Thanks, Max. So that's Max Newt 7. Let's grab the second race winner, the sexiest man in Track Titan, Michelle Rodriguez.
Hello.
Hello, race winner once again. Lovely to see it.
Yes, and a race winner on a track I just started practicing right before.
Well, I was saying that this is one that we almost could have expected. The amount of Assetto Corsa you play.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The
But
amount
it
of
was a
Assetto
fun
Corsa
race.
competizione earlier, but yeah, it was a great race. So the second race for you, fairly quiet. You know, you just kind of took the lead. Henry span out ahead of you, and then you just kind of walked away with it. You were putting in fast lap after fast lap. Ryan had no answers for you.
Well, the thing is that Ryan is a hot lapper. I am a racer. I am consistently fast. Ryan is fast over 1 lap.
Oh, this is fighting talk. The first race though didn't go quite so much to plan. What happened there?
No, it didn't. At first, I think it was Gulishek. He had some ping problems, and all of a sudden he disappeared in front of me, and then he reappeared, and then he was inside my car, and it like crashed me out. So I went backwards, and then I was behind Diogo, I think it was, and I was not ready for the dirty air because for some reason the dirty air was really strong in that corner, which I didn't expect. And when I was going behind, just like normally, and they just sent me right into the wall and destroyed my suspension completely. So I had to go to pits and fix it. So I became last because of the time in the pits.
Yeah, well, I saw you go into the wall, and it seems to be a common thing actually coming through that kink. People in the slipstream seem to just run wide and go into the wall there, and that wall was offering damage, wasn't it?
It really did. It messed up my suspension badly. I wasn't because then, for example, I play a lot of ACC, and a lot of corners there you're not really affected that much by the slipstream. And I at least now on the tracks I've been playing, that the slipstream hasn't affected me that much. But here it affected me as if I was an F1 car, and it really just sent me right into the wall, and I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, I thought the slipstream was a bit weirdly powerful this time around, but hey, it went to good use, I suppose, because you managed to take the win. Although that was less to do with slipstream, I guess.
Exactly. I just had to start last. I could start first and win the race.
So you're gonna sandbag in qualifying every time now.
No, of course not.
No, fair enough. Well done, Michelle. Race
Thank
winner
you.
once again. Lovely to see you on the top step of the podium, and well, we got GT4 and then GT2 after this, so potentially
It'll be
more.
nice. Yes, of course. I'll have to make sure to start getting up there so you guys can have a sexy man on your Instagram.
Naturally, you're drawing the followers in, mate.
I have to start an OnlyFans account.
All right, let's end it there.
Let's end it there.
Yeah, well done, Michelle. Great to see you again.
Thank you.
I'll catch you next time, maybe.
Yes, I got you. Bye bye.
See you. There we go, Michelle Rodriguez, race winner for race 2. That concludes today's racing here from Road America. A slightly less energetic one, in truth. I feel like Spit Slam has been sorely missed, at least from my perspective. You can let us know in the comments. But next week we've got GT4s at Suzuka, which should be an interesting race and should offer up some great racing. Those Lotuses can go side by side without too much damage, and the slightly slower cars should potentially be a little bit easier to control for some of our drivers. But thanks to everyone for joining us tonight. We'll catch you next week at Suzuka. But until then, sign up to Track Time and subscribe to the channel.